This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company and Purdy Insurance. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Sunbury Motor Company and Purdy Insurance. Now from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Half hour brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 to Nummels Wharf and online at sunburymotors.com. Where I bought my last vehicle. Ford, Kia, Hyundai, best in new inventory. Great pre-owned inventory with the all-important Sunbury Motors guarantee. And a terrific service department. Quick lane inspections are routine difficult. All at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf and online at sunburymotors.com. By the way, one quick note, one other thing is that expect to not see any longer Unrivaled. I think that's going to go by the boards here as well. Look, everybody has to do it their own way. James did it his way. I'm fine with what, look, James brought them back. He brought them back. I mean, I'm sitting there, James made my job exponentially more exciting because of the big games they were involved in. But everybody has to do it their own way, and Matt's way is not going to be is probably not going to include Unrivaled. 3 conferences, the Power 4 conferences, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the ACC. They're all going through their respective meetings right now. May is meeting month for them, where they get together. The ACC has picked the shabby location of Amelia Island. Uh-huh. Stayed there for the Gator Bowl. Great place. And the Big 12, the Big 10, the ACC, they're all saying they support the idea of going to 24. Now, the SEC, of course, is not there yet. And without Greg Sankey in the SEC, you can't have it. Just like it's the other way around. Say the SEC was supporting 24 and the Big Ten wasn't. You can't get there without the Big Ten. So, ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips says the league's football coaches and ADs support expanding to a 24-team college football playoff. Says when you leave worthy teams out, you need to tweak the format. And that's fine. But he also made this comment, Jim Phillips did. ESPN has been pretty clear with all of us. They'd like to see it stay at 12, maybe 14, but no higher than 16. With all due respect, if you expand to 24... does it mean when you come up for the next contract that you don't have multiple TV partners? But again, this is under the category of information. Andy Staples tweeted this out from on3.com. Says ESPN has been pretty clear with all of us, said Jim Phillips, that they'd like to see it stay at 12, maybe 14, but no higher than 16. So the Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10 have all said that they want 24. Now, do I expect... Now, and by the way, Tennessee has been the one to break. I mean, that's not part of the story here, but Tennessee's already had the break. They've already said that they want to see 24. Danny White made that statement in an article about 2 weeks ago. We were talking about that. As you know, I'm in favor of 16. So no final decisions on expansion expected right now, but it hasn't stopped look, you have all these meetings with ADs and coaches going on right now from the respective conferences, so this is going to be something that is brought up. So it's going to be a talking point. Phillips' comments did put a public face on what Yahoo Sports reported last month, that ESPN executives have privately dismissed the 2014 format. They have the exclusive broadcast rights to the college football playoff up to a 14-team format. Now, they've already sub-licensed a part of it to TNT. Beyond 14 schools, additional playoff games go to the open market, which is exactly why the network would prefer to keep the entire postseason to itself. That then, of course, justifies Fox's enthusiasm. Fox wants to see 24. Why? Because they can bid for the other games. Fox owns controlling stake in the Big Ten Network. It possesses the Big Ten's lead broadcast package. But the reality is Fox college football, save for the Holiday Bowl, which they have now dropped. Holiday Bowl is now up for bids. It looks like the CW may get that. Their season ends Thanksgiving weekend on the college football side. The 2014 bracket, what does that do? Well, in December and January, guess what? Fox has more games, if they're the ones that end up being the winning bid for the additional games. Greg Sankey wants to preserve the conference championship games. Okay. Now, I want to at least give you his point of view on that, because don't sit there and just automatically poo-poo the conference championship game unless you're sitting in the financial office of the SEC, because guess what? That conference championship game is actually worth $80 million. Hey, that's, And $80 million is nothing to sneeze at. So they don't want to sacrifice that game. The only way you do it is if the conference gets $80 million extra plus, $100 million extra plus from playing in the playoff. Under the college football playoffs structure, they have a memorandum of understanding with each conference plus Notre Dame. And they signed this 2 years ago. Both the Big Ten and the SEC must agree to any format change that take effect. Of course, Fox and ESPN's aligned with the SEC. Fox is aligned with the Big Ten. Now, Kevin Clark, he's the head of the college football playoff, but doesn't have the same weight, cachet as Bill Hancock. He's still growing into the job. Kevin Clark called it a disgrace on the 2014 push, saying people pushing expansion don't actually like college football. Josh Pate, who is highly respected, does a lot of really great work. People are asked to weigh in with their opinions. He calls it one of the most unpopular proposals in sports history. Okay? So 2014 playoff obviously doubles the number. And I think that what's interesting about ESPN's stand on this, and I do find it interesting, they do, when it comes to the conference championship games, I think ESPN has all of them except for the Big Ten and the Mountain West. I think they've got all the other ones, which is great. But the ratings for a college football playoff game, the viewership, is exponentially higher than any other program that ESPN puts on. The top-rated game in the regular season in college basketball was just about 5 million when Michigan played Duke down in D.C. in February. And that was a great number. That was their highest regular season number, I think, since 2017, something like that. I mean, 5 million viewers, that's phenomenal. Well, a college football playoff game brings with it double and triple that. So it's an interesting conundrum to be in. Now, do they get a great rating for the SEC championship game? Yes. Fox got a great rating. In fact, Fox, the Indiana-Ohio State game, was the number one rated college football game of championship weekend. They had like between 17 and 18 million viewers for that game. That's the most viewership of anybody. But the conference championship games, their time has come and gone, because what are the stakes now? And as I outlined, and I've mentioned this several times already, but I'll just quickly repeat it. When I did the opening for the Penn State-Oregon Big Ten championship game, I said, here's quite simply are the stakes. The winner is the Big Ten champion, very prestigious, gets a bye, and gets to go to the Rose Bowl for the quarterfinals. The loser gets a home game in the opening round. So those are your stakes. And getting a bye, I mean, again, it was the first time of the 12-team playoff, so you got like a bye looked really great, really great. And the weird thing is, in the 2 years I've had teams with byes that played on New Year's Day, those teams are 1-7. Only Indiana blowing out Alabama is the only one that a team with a bye won. Because remember, Alabama beat Oklahoma to get there. So that's where that is. I think December 1st is the next decision day on the college football playoff. No, has ESPN been a great partner? Yes. They're willing to go to 14, fine. Okay, 16's like their top out number. It's the same network that doesn't mind giving you as many NBA playoff games as possible, or Stanley Cup playoff games as possible, because they know that's where the money is made. Yes, they do make money off the SEC championship game, so don't get me wrong about that, but that's a game as opposed to additional games, more inventory. All right, we'll take a break. We'll let you know, like in the world of the transfer portal, why you have to almost start from scratch in your broadcasting job. Here on News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Sunbury Motors.
Grandmom, did you really get engaged to Grandpa right here on the carousel at Knoebels?
On that very horse. He gave me the brass ring he caught. I told him it was sweet, but I was hoping for something a little shinier.
And you still said yes?
I did, because what matters most isn't the ring, it's who's riding beside you.
Beat the summer crowds. Our 100th anniversary season starts now. Visit Knoebels in May and plan your trip today at knoebels.com.
Central Penn Bank and Trust, like an old friend down the road. Central Penn Bank and Trust, we're the friendly faces you know, yeah.
At Central Penn Bank and Trust, we're proud to be part of what connects our communities. The same people you see at the bank are the ones coaching your kids' teams, serving on local boards, and living right down the street. That connection matters. It's how we help local businesses grow, support families, and make banking feel a little more personal. Central Penn Bank and Trust, bridging communities, building your future. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Big enough to help, small enough to care, there when you need us. Bridging communities, building your future. Bridging communities, building your future. Central Penn and Trust. Build your future with us.
Easy Pay spring enrollment is now open at J.J. Powell. It's the perfect time to lock in price protection for your heating season. You get 15 months of a lock rate on heating oil, a low cap price of $3.99 a gallon with easy monthly payments. Plus, automatic deliveries ensure stress-free service. Enroll today, and you get a bonus 15 cents off per gallon of gas at Snappy's. Go to jjpowell.com. jjpowell.com. No guessing, no market timing, just peace of mind. Easy Pay spring enrollment is open till the end of May. Act today.
All right, how difficult is it to get ready for a season when the transfer portal is the way it is? So right now, I think a lot of people know that have listened to the show a long time, that I do a lot of work in the off season to get as much done as I can so that when I get to the week of a game, I have some things already in place and I can do some updating and some moving around and so forth, right, where I'm not like typing in a guy's height, weight, hometown, things like that, career highs and so forth. And at this point, I am through USC, so that's Game 6, and I have already started working on Game 7, which is Michigan. Now, what I have not started is basketball, because I do this in chronological order. So when I'm done with Michigan, I'll get to Purdue. When I'm done with Purdue, then I'll get to Washington and so forth. Then I'll get to Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland. When I'm done with Maryland, whenever that may be, I will then turn my attention to basketball. So this is life today compared to the old days where you're like, oh, they got these starters back and this bench guy and so on and so forth, and here are their incoming freshmen, here are the people that either graduated or went pro, and that was it. Okay. So like Illinois, right, losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Okay? But they do keep a significant number. I mean, guys that I know. I mean, David Mirkovic, Andrei Stojakovic, both T and Z Ivisic, both of them, the twins are back, Jake Davis, so forth. Okay. You know, they only have one incoming transfer that played at Providence, and they have some incoming freshmen. But then you get to Indiana. Expected to return. One guy, Trent Sisley. Everybody else, gone. Now, they do bring in 3 incoming freshmen, but everything else is transferred. Notre Dame, Villanova, Alabama, SMU, Georgia Tech, Duke. You know, I mean, that's Indiana. Now we get to Iowa, a little more stable. They actually do have a significant number of guys coming back, like Cooper Koch and Cam Maniau and people like that. Kel Combs, Tate Sage. Right, so they're more stable. They have only 2 incoming transfers and 2 freshmen, so that's fine. You get to Maryland, right? They have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys back. That's it. 4 guys back. Transfers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transfers coming in, plus some freshmen. Now, Michigan has older players that I expected them to lose, and they have. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys back. Everything else is transfer or freshman. Michigan State, normally pretty stable, right? And that is going to be about the same. They only have 1 incoming transfer. That's it. Because they expect everybody else back. Jeremy Fears, Cohen Carr, Kurt Tang, Jordan Scott, Cam Ward, Caleb Glenn, Jesse McCullough. Okay. It's just fine. Plus some freshmen. That's good. Minnesota has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys back. Everybody else transfers and a couple of incoming freshmen. Nebraska. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. This is about as stable as Nebraska's ever been. Yeah, you got Bryce Sanford back, Braden Frager, Connor Esigian, who was out all last year, he was hurt. Cale Jacobson, Leo Curtis, and Will Cooper. But they've got the usual number of Transfers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Great. Northwestern really decimated by guys transferring out. They have 3 guys returning. 3. Everything else is an incoming transfer. And 2 freshmen. Ohio State, 5 returning. Everything else is going to be an incoming transfer or a freshman. Let's see. Oregon, they have 1 guy back. Sean Stewart. He's it. Everybody else will be a transfer or an incoming freshman. Because, as you know, Penn State, we already know that they've got only 2 guys back. Okay. Everybody else, transfer, incoming freshman. Purdue, normally the bastion of stability, and still pretty much in that way. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys back. Only 1 incoming transfer. Kid from Princeton, Caden Pierce, then incoming freshman. Rutgers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys back. Okay, pretty good for them. Normally there's more turnover. They've got transfers in 1, 2, 3, 4 coming in plus freshmen. UCLA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys back. Not bad. Transfers 1, 2, 3, 4 transfers coming in, then freshmen. USC's become a revolving door. They've got 3 guys back. 3. Everything else, transfers, incoming freshmen. Washington, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys back. Everything else, transfers, incoming freshmen. Wisconsin, normally a lot more than most teams in terms of coming back. I think they have 5 guys back, something like that. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6. Everything else, transfers, freshmen. That is, so like for example, I'm getting ready for Indiana. Okay, I can update Trent Sisley easily, but then I've got to, go and look up what Marcus Burton did at Notre Dame for Micah, what Bruce Lindsay did at Villanova, what Aiden Sherrill did at Alabama, right? Get a look at Jaden Mustaf, what he did at Georgia Tech, what Darren Harris did at Duke, and start putting it together that way. So there is, with no complaints, because it's my job, it's what I do, and I love my job. But at the same time, you do have to put a lot more work in because of what it is today with the portal, because of all the moving parts. But that's what it's like these days. I just finished USC. The transfers are at wide receiver and so forth. But it's amazing. Like, it's a team Penn State played 2 years ago. The number of guys on that team that were there 2 years ago, not that many. Half hour brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com.
Are you looking for a hometown bank that you can trust? Then look no further than UNB Bank.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get any size mattress for one low price starting at $219.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
An in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Half hour brought to you by Purdy Insurance. PurdyInsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business, boat, motorcycle, RV. And you want to be fully insured. Something happens. That's what insurance is, a just in case. And they'll do a great job of organizing all your policies, making sure you're fully insured, doing everything they can to save you money, because customer service means everything to them. It's not, hey, serving number 8. I mean, to them, you're somebody that's a customer with needs, and they want to fulfill their obligation to you to do the best job possible for you. That's Purdy Insurance. Great people who are great pros. Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to PurdyInsurance.com. All right. So, playoffs last night. San Antonio won big, up 3-2. The Sabres had a terrific performance last night. Really a terrific performance last night by them. And that was a great win for Buffalo to tie the series up at 2 games apiece. And the other game last night saw, in overtime, Vegas beating Anaheim 3-2, now leading the series 3-2, going back to the Honda Center, as they were able to score in OT last night to win it 4-10 into overtime. It's been a good series. So has Buffalo, Montreal. It's been a good series so far. Tonight, the only game scheduled, Wild Avalanche. That game will be in Denver with Colorado, which won the President's Trophy during the regular season. They've got an opportunity to put the thing away tonight. One NBA game tonight. Cavaliers, Pistons. Pivotal 5th game. In Detroit. Series tied at 2 apiece. So, series tied at 2 apiece on that one. The NBA defending an 11% rise in fouls during the course of the playoffs. Well, that happens. All right. And we already talked about Nick Nurse. And again, making the move there. In the Major League Baseball, the Orioles lead the Yankees 3-0. That game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Paul Skeens flirted with another no-hitter. Mentioned the Phillies. They beat the Red Sox 2-1 last night. They sent Andrew Painter to the mound at Fenway tonight. Sonny Gray goes for the Red Sox. That's on Eagle 107 tonight. And the third game of the series will be tomorrow at Fenway. All right. So we look at college football right now. How about it's one thing about the SEC. They do a lot of talking in that conference. So here's Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin did an interview with Vanity Fair. Freely admit, I've never read Vanity Fair in my lifetime. And he says some top recruits would tell him that they were not interested in going to Ole Miss while he was running the program before his move to LSU. He said they would say, hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Parents were sitting here this weekend saying the campus's diversity was so great and feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation, and we want that for our kid because that's the real world. So he's had to clarify it. He said, I just hope that any comment didn't come off as disrespectful to Ole Miss. He said, there are some things I'm saying that are factual. They're not shots. And he told On 3 Sports that his comments were not calculated. He says, look, I really apologize if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by that. In a 4-hour interview, I was asked a lot of questions on a lot of things, and Ole Miss has been wonderful to me and my family. I was asked questions about the differences in recruiting, and I said that the narrative that we battled there was from some out-of-state black parents and grandparents not wanting their kid to move to Mississippi. That's a narrative that coaches have been fighting forever. It wasn't calculated bringing it up. Okay? Pete Golding is now the head coach there. And then there's Steve Sarkisian. Okay. He slams Ole Miss's academics. And one day after Lane Kiffin's remarks, Ole Miss back on out there again. Sarkisian told USA Today, all you have to do is take basket weaving and you get an Ole Miss degree. First-year Florida coach John Summerall, a former assistant at Ole Miss, added to the fray later yesterday afternoon with a jab at Sarkisian on X. All right. Grateful to coach at a top 10 public university that also offers advanced basket weaving. As usual, this is all part of a larger conversation about tampering, and he was stressing the importance of academics in Texas. He told USA Today, Sarkisian did, at Texas, we will only take 50% of a player's academic credit hours. Talking about transfers. You may be a semester from graduating, but you're going all the way back to 50% if you play here and want a degree. But at Ole Miss, they can take you. All you have to do is take basket weaving, and then you can get an Ole Miss degree. Keith Carter, the athletic director at Ole Miss, said, quote, kind of amazing how uncomfortable our success is making some people. Now, the coaches and the ADs in the SEC are going to get together right after Memorial Day. The Tuesday through Thursday of Memorial Day, they'll be at the Hilton Beach and Golf Resort and Spa in Miramar Beach, Florida. Again, they do not choose Laramie, Wyoming. So, yeah, welcome to the SEC. How about that? Certainly a lot being done here. I did talk about the stadium a little bit yesterday, where they are. When you take a look at the pictures, you see all the steel is in now. There's no. I don't think there's any need to put any more steel in there. I think all the girders are up. Now it's a question of now constructing that part. So the guts. So it's there. So I had to put seats up there. Evidently, there will be seats up there. Maybe not all of them, but there'll be seats up there for the regular season. People have said to me, it looks so high. And it does. It looks high, except when you look at the south end zone. And it's slightly higher. And I mean slightly higher than the south end zone at its top. And I mean, that is, I mean, it doesn't mean it's low, because, I mean, I have gone to the top row. I was at a practice one day, and I said, you know what, I should go to the top row of the upper deck here just to see it. And, like, in terms of the ability to see the field, that's no issue. The only thing about that upper row in the south end upper deck, like, again, no problem seeing the field from up there. Fine, it's a good view. But I remember how steep I felt it was coming down, and I made sure, and I don't normally do this, but I made sure I held the rail. Because it was steep, and I kept thinking, boy, if it's wet. To be honest with you, I do like sitting in the spot I'm in. So, but I'll go around to different parts of the stadium when they're out there doing stretch and things like that, just to get a view from up there as to what you're seeing. So I'll go to the very top of the upper deck on the north side, the very top on the south side, just to see, again, to say I've seen it. I've been there. Okay. And we will then, I mean, they've been diligent about it. They've been going about putting everything in. When it's done, it's going to be spectacular. It's done, it's going to be spectacular. And I also think what Northwestern did with, Northwestern Stadium is $880 million. It's 35,000 seats. To be honest with you, I thought it looked like to me, when I saw it there, like I actually saw it myself, I thought, oh, okay, you know what? That's going to be really a tremendous facility. It's great size for them. I like it a lot. So, I know I mentioned yesterday, but Dwayne Stevens as a hire for Penn State men's basketball as an assistant coach is a great hire from Mike Rhodes. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that is tremendous reputation, pros pro. That's Dwayne. And because it's Jarrett's brother, it's not like over the years, because he spent 22 years at Michigan State. It's not as if he didn't come over and we'd talk a little bit, because it's Jarrett's brother. And I always thought he did a great job as a coach. I mean, when you're sitting there, when you're sitting there and you just get to know him a little bit, but you also know what his reputation is as a coach. You're not on Tom Izzo's staff for that long unless Tom Izzo thinks you can flat out coach, and he can. So that's a great addition to the staff. Getting him in there. Yeah, I mean, because, Joe Chrisman had already left to go to Air Force, and Jamal Brunn, of course, went to Syracuse, I want to say. So, I mean, you got Brent Scott, you got Taylor Battle, Clay Connor, now you got Dwayne Stevens there. I think it's a great pickup. It's a great pickup for them on the coaching staff part. How the team is going to be, I mean, as you know, I had to go to Scranton over the weekend because, unfortunately, that, Wayne Sebastianelli passing away. And I actually got as many questions about basketball as I got about football. Hey, are they going to be better? Can they win more games? I said, it's so difficult for me to tell now. Like, I need like a month into the season to actually see who's coming together and who's not, because I think summertime, you get 8 weeks in the summer. I think it would be smarter to have 6. Because every time we get to the last couple of weeks, you can tell, like, everybody's like, okay, here we go. But I think that you don't know how teams are coming together. Like, I just talked about all these teams here. I don't know how Indiana's going to come together. For all I know, Burton and Lindsay are just terrific, and they work out great together, and they average 30 points per game between the two of them. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, how that's going to come together. You're going to have to see them play first. I mean, I know what Maryland, I know what Andre Mills can do. I know what George Kirkson can do. Like, those are the only two significant guys back. So how does, like, Michael McNair, I thought, shot the lights out at BU. Penn State played BU last year. But Tomislav Bullion from New Mexico? But I seen him play a game last year and didn't think I would think about it. DJ Wagner, of course, I know. Kentucky to Arkansas. Bishop Boswell, I saw at Tennessee. Okay. Robert Jennings, I mean, I didn't pay much attention to Oklahoma State basketball. I mean, how the heck do I know? Don't know. Because you're not watching games thinking about, oh, this guy might transfer in. Okay. You don't know that. Right? Like Minnesota, I know what Durkin can do. I know what Osama can do. Grove to a point. Jalen Crocker-Johnson to a point. Right? But like the other guys they're bringing in, Winters Grady hardly played at Michigan. Malik Cordell hardly played at Michigan. Okay? Malachi Palmer. I mean, I sort of watch Villanova a little bit, but like I don't know how good he is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't know how these parts come together on a team. Yeah. Who fits? Who doesn't fit? Who's more ball dominant? Who's, same thing in football. I see USC gets a transfer from NC State to play wide receiver. Great. Okay. But, like, how much NC State football did I watch last year? I didn't watch much of NC State football last year. Now, I know what Jaden Maeva can do. Heck of a quarterback. I like him. Right? But, like Tamir Robinson and Zariah Fisher are both twos on their depth chart. I know what they can do as transfers, but I don't know how they're going to fit. And Robinson's one of those guys, and unfortunately, same thing with Zariah. When they're available, unfortunately, both of them have had to overcome injuries. Penn State doesn't play Oklahoma State. You know what Oklahoma State has? 85 new players. 85 new players? Really? 85 new players. You have a 105-man roster, 85 new players. 60 of the 85 were in the transfer portal. Okay. Now, Drew Mestemaker played for Eric Morris at North Texas. Okay. Quarterback. But this is where we are. This is where we are. And, it has been, this is what you're dealing with when it comes time to predicting what teams can and can't do. I can't tell you in a million years how Oklahoma State's going to play until I watch them play 4 games in a month. I couldn't tell you. I mean, that's the opening month of the season is more of a mystery than any other month. And it's after that where I think you start to finally see, like, okay, now I can see what is working and what isn't working. Crazy. All right, so winding down, tomorrow we are going to get into the Preakness. Dick Girardi is going to join us on the show tomorrow to talk about a race that will not have the Kentucky Derby winner in it. That's unfortunately becoming more the norm. That's becoming more the norm. That the Derby winner doesn't go in the Preakness. I mean, the years when American Pharaoh and Justify won the Triple Crown, boy, that was exciting. And it did so much for the sport of horse racing. But as Dick Girardi has pointed out once, he has pointed it out 20 or 30 times on this show, the races are too close together. Humans in golf, you have the Players in March. You have the Masters in April. This week at Aronimink, it is the PGA. Next month will be the U.S. Open. And then from the U.S. Open, you'll get to July, and it'll be the Open Championship in Great Britain. Right? Humans are spaced out a month apart. They don't do that with horses. I don't see, I'm with Dick. I don't understand why the first Saturday in May, the first Saturday in June, and the first Saturday, which is 4th of July weekend, in July, you can't have the races. You'd have a better I think you'd have a chance. Doesn't mean they're going to win all three, but you have a better chance of Triple Crown winner. Now they're not spaced together they're spaced together in such a way it's hard to get any horse to run three of them. Most of them run two. They run the Derby and they'll come back and they'll run the Belmont. And look, it's a little easier to run the Belmont these days because it's not a mile and a half when it's at Saratoga. It's a mile and a quarter. But yeah, that's where we are. So Dick Girardi on the show tomorrow here on News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Purdy Insurance.